Scene 2. Pat Talk. What porridge? I didn't buy it. You said this morning that you wanted to have spicy noodle salad. So I bought it for you after classes. But you came back so late and the noodle salad got all soggy. You didn't pick up the phone and then showed up with this bruised face. Now you're telling me to buy porridge for you because your mouth hurts? Scumbag like you have the right to make such a request? Here's a corner apartment near the university with two small bedrooms, one bathroom, a shared area, and a refrigerator room. I call it a refrigerator room because the area is far too small to be a kitchen. Now, Par, my precious little sister, is lecturing me about the same old topic. Hearing her voice nagging here becomes like a routine. I wake up, have breakfast, study, have a fight, come home to get nagged, then I go to sleep, wake up, and again end my day with her lecture. Never learned my lesson. If Bran and his gang saw me standing here weekly with my hands folded in front like this, they would tease me for another 10 lifetimes. Even so, I mumble an excuse guiltily to my nagging sister. I didn't start it this time, Bar. Bran did. Was there ever a time you weren't the one starting up fight, Pat? I mean it. I was studying when Gon came to me and said Pran brought his gang to beat him up. Stop acting like you don't know Pran. Your friend must have started it. Whoa, are you my sister or Pran's? I whine, I whine. In this world, I only yield to Par. This 3 year younger girl, who used to be a baby toddling after me, is now glaring at me and taking my enemy's side. Wait on the bed, Par orders sharply. She moves a chair to the front of the crazy tall bookshelf and climbs on it to get the dark colored first aid kit kept on the top of the shelf. Still looking annoyed, she slams the box on the cushion, jolting me. I'm afraid she'll tell me off again. Stop fighting, will you? How's Bran, by the way? That punk got his ass whooped. What do you think? You should be proud to have a brother like me. Ouch! What was that hit for? Stop being so proud of being a delinquent. It's not even cool. Cool or not, I'm a popular guy. Quit nagging, will you? You're worse than Mom. That's because Mom never nags at you. My little girl scolds, fumbling for ointments and other materials. Mercuro- Mercurochrome, bombs, painkillers, bandages, and gauze. There's no cotton ball left. What? We just bought it at the beginning of this month. Who told you to get into a fight every other day? Your medical supplies cost more than my tampons. You're exaggerating. Don't make me feed you with those bills. They'll get your stomach full. Par puts everything back in the box, closes the lid, and locks it for good. Ask Brand to treat your wounds. Huh? What? We ran out of stuff. And I don't want to go back downstairs. I'm already in my pajamas, as you can see. It doesn't take long to change. Or you can just knock on Brand's door and ask him to treat your wounds. Which one is easier? Bar, come on. Go to the convenience store for me, please. Don't use that soft tone. The girl rises to her full height and crosses her arms to show seriousness. This is your punishment for getting into a fight. I'm so sick of it. Oh, and if you get into another fight this week, I won't let you sleep here for real. I'm your brother crawling out of the same womb. Because you're my only brother. I know she's worried, but I can't help it. If you don't break this habit, what will you do if one day you get jumped by a whole gang? I know you're strong, but strong people don't always survive. Whatever. I've made up my mind. I won't go down to buy them for you. Go ask Pran to treat your wounds and apologize to him as well. I'm gonna tell Dad you take side with the son of that family. You would have done it long ago if you'd really wanted to. I hate this sassy little girl for always being onto me. She's right though. I would have done it long ago if I wanted to. Don't forget to apologize to him. I know. Again, I sigh and walk out of our room to stop in front of the next door. I muster up my courage for a while. Knock knock. I utter the knocking sound after Par goes back inside and locks the door. So if my wounds don't get proper treatment, I'm banned from my own place. This is not the first time. I have no idea how many times things turned out this way, and I can never accept it as normal. Bran and I met at pre-kindergarten. He was one of my good friends back then. But for some reason, the teachers always tried to split us up. We even lived in the same neighborhood, but never went to school or went back home together for once. When we were in primary school, we were sent to the same all boys private school. I began to have an idea that Dad didn't want me to be close to Pran, that Pran was a bad boy. My parents and his weren't on good terms. No, they hated each other's guts. I started cursing Pran's dad like my dad did. Pran didn't take it to heart at first, only frowning at times, but it was very fun teasing him like that. Then one day, he threw a rock at my forehead and began our first fight ever. My head bled and I got 3 stitches for the first time. Our moms screamed at each other at ER, embarrassing us. Pran rested on the bed next to mine with his broken shin. I don't know how many stitches he got, but we both cried. I've hated him ever since, as he's also resented me. We despise each other without knowing why. What? The owner of the room opens the door. What good ears he has. He knew I was out here even before I knocked. How are your wounds? Not your fucking business. I'm worried. Fuck off. What do you want? I point at the corner of my mouth and my bruised left temple. They need to be treated at least. So? I ran out of cotton balls. Go buy it. The convenience store is downstairs. Par told me to steal some from you. Again? Yeah, don't be stingy. Is it your family well off? You're the one deserving the insult, Pat. Just go and buy it yourself. Who told you to hurt me then? It's all you're doing. Look at you. You're not taking any responsibility. What a jerk. You have to treat my wounds. Can you not order me and just beg me as your sister told you? Who said Par told me to beg you? Bran turns around. He doesn't slam the door at me, so I take the chance to slip in. His place is different from mine, a single room for living alone, not a rental corner apartment costing 10,000 monthly that Par and I live in. The price is enough to buy a whole apartment. See it yourself. The latest iPhone flies in the air and I grab it just in time. The screen displays a texting app showing Par's messages. She told Bran to help me treat my wounds in a respectful and gentle manner, unlike the tiger snarling at me seconds ago. She got me again. If you want to be treated, come and sit here and leave right away once I'm done with you so I can take care of my own wounds. I say and flop on the floor cross-legged while Pran sits on his bed. He starts by cleaning around my wound with a cotton ball dipped in alcohol and I switch off the teasing Pran mode. Pran is actually good looking. I mean, bias aside. He has pursed lips and narrow eyes, looking aloof as expected of a guy who hardly smiles. Many of my friends said this fucker kept pulling a face at them. I told them countless times that it's just his face, but they never bought it. Pran gives no fuck about the world and always has this artistic vibe. To be honest, I wasn't surprised when I learned that he studies architecture. It seemed to be his thing since high school. What are you staring at? What do you think? I asked, grinning. He knits his beautifully shaped brows. Brows! The scar on his eyebrow tail moves a little before he presses the cotton ball hard on my wounds. Fuck, that hurts! You're a pain in the ass. I've done nothing. You got shy because I'm staring? Do you want to get your wounds treated or more wounds? He challenges me with his deep black eyes. I surrender and behave. I'll appreciate it if you stop messing with me for 10 minutes. Okay, I know. I'll treat your wounds in return. There's one in your belly, right? Don't act like you feel guilty. I held back for you, Bran. A lousy fighter like you would have gone to the hospital if you'd fought with the other guys in my gang. You gotta be strong to be a leader, you know. Want a lesson from me? No, but newbie? Ouch! Are you using your hands or your feet to treat me? Then tell me, are you using your ass to speak right now? I'm gonna tell your sister to buy you a muzzle instead of cotton balls. What the hell is wrong with you? Are you like this because being foul mouthed is one of the engineering subjects? Go tell your juniors to watch their fucking mouths. You mean the way they tease the girls? It's the main reason why his friends were infuriated. Well, architecture girls are pretty. It's normal. They do it just for fun. You guys take it too seriously. I'm not amused. Hey, stress makes you die fast. Foul mouths make you die fast as well. Look up. I obey. Bran takes care of the wound at the corner of my mouth. It stings a little but bearable. I sweep my eyes over his face again. His black bangs fall past his brows despite getting trimmed weeks ago. Your hair grows fast. Yeah, it annoys me too. Want me to tie it? No, stay still, will you? Start to apply the ointment. Bran mumbles, squeezing my chin in place. It's a pretty rough move, but not as much as the way he talks. Honestly, Pran is a good guy to me. Looking back to primary school days when the animosities between us began to intensify, we exchanged blows at every chance we got. One day, Par and I was playing near a pond in our residential area. I was riding a bicycle with my sister seated in the back, as Pran was also riding his nearby. We met under the tall Cantali champa tree and childishly claimed that it was our personal rest area. I said I owned the place ever since I was in my mom's womb, but then he argued that his dad reserved it for him. So, I told him my dad bought my house first, and he challenged me to show him the title deed, blabbering nonsense as he wanted to win. Seriously, I never understand why we kept hanging out near one another when we hated each other so much. Splash! The water in the lotus pond splashed. I turned around and saw a small tire track on the muddy ground. My bicycle was gone. We were busy pushing each other that I forgot my sister was still on the bicycle. I remember Par struggled and screamed for help. I froze. I couldn't swim. My parents always told us not to go near the pond without any adults around. Splash! The water splashed again. Bran's bicycle fell down under the tree without its owner. My eyes fixed on the two figures moving in the pond while I tensed up in place, unable to even shout. After a moment, Bran swam back up, holding Par's both hands, dragging her to the shore. My sister burst into tears and I hugged my uh, my sister burst into tears and hugged my enemy tight. Par. Pow! It was the first time I let Bran hit me with his wet fist, not fighting back. He was furious at me way more than Par, whom I'd taken my eyes off, was. Why didn't you save your sister? If I didn't jump in, would you have let her die? No. You're a damn coward. Bran pulled his bicycle up, soaked, water roots still sticking on his shoulder and head. His back looked smaller as he left. I ran to Par and embraced her the moment I came back to my senses. The girl still cried out of fear. I had no idea how Pran had done it. My bicycle had drowned, never coming back. I saw blood on Par's shirt, but my sister wasn't injured anywhere. Later, I noticed a small scar on Pran's eyebrow tail. The permanent wound always reminds me of a question. Is it the mark of bravery from that time? Don't tell Mom, Pat. I'm afraid she'll scold us. That was the first sign that made me change how I thought of him. From then on, our relationship was neither enemies nor best friends. I loved to mess with him, trying to change his grim expression to stifling a smile or frowning. The latter is more frequent though. The room owner puts a bandage on me and it's all done. Besides my face, I have some bruises on my elbow. For the places under the shirt, applying some bruise balm for 2 weeks will do, if I don't get any more hits on the same spot. You can go now, Pran says, standing up ready to chase me away. I grab his wrist and pull him down to sit on the bed again. What about your wounds? I can take care of them myself. Cut the act, as if I've never treated your wounds before. You suck at it, Pat. I'm not that bad. Take it as my apology. Par told me to apologize to you. I tell her you did it, okay? Whoa, you don't have to be so kind. I beam so wildly my eyes are closed. The smile causes an unreadable expression on his face. Let me take responsibility for once. Stop saying disgusting things like that. What? I mean, I should treat your wounds since I hurt you. What are you thinking? Something perverted? Perverted? Pran raises his fist, but I'm fast enough to seize his other wrist, ending up holding both of his hands. We're facing each other with him sitting on the bed and me kneeling on the floor. I pull him close. You look cold but hot-headed. Only to you. I feel special. Shut up. Will you treat my wounds or not? If not, then leave. I have lots of things to do. It would have been over already if you'd let me do it in the first place. Show me the bruise on your belly. No! He snatches my hand before I can lift his shirt. Pran frowns. There's no need to be mad over this. Very well, let's switch our places. It's hard to do it while looking up. The architecture student rolls his eyes. I repeat my words until he relents. He lowers himself on the floor and looks up, letting me put some ointment on the corner of his mouth and jaw. I rub my fingertip on the scar slightly and look at him the way I love to. End of scene 2.